Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back. I'm going to be doing some rare limited content today. Don't play much limited on this channel, but I play a lot in real life, so I thought I'd show you guys what I like in Ikoria. Yeah, Dirge Bat is awesome. I'm really high on the mutate mechanic. I think it stacks really well. It's like the most powerful thing you can do in limited. Obviously, a 3-3 with flash and flying you would play anyway, so like that's a fantastic first pick. I'm really happy with that. Hopefully the audio balance is alright. I do not often record on Arena, so if it sounds or looks shitty, I'm really sorry, but hopefully it won't. If you guys want to see more limited content, then please do let me know. This pack doesn't go very well with my first pick. Pacifism is a decent removal spell, but it's not incredible because there's quite a lot of good activated abilities. It won't stop. Mystic Subdual is a decent removal spell. In general, if you're trying to build on the mutate mechanic, you want to be black-green based, probably Sultai. The Huntmaster Tiger, I don't think is as good as it looks. I could be wrong. I think it's probably between Mystic Subdual, Pacifism, and Huntmaster Tiger. I can't really get a good handle on how good this card is, but I assume it's just not great. Not unless you personally have a repeatable way to deal small amounts of damage to it. I'm going to take this. It's really quite good because if you cast it in response to a Skull Prophet's great. If you cut, so is Clash of Titans, I should add, but it doesn't go as well with what I'm thinking of doing. Although we're so early, I should probably be more open-minded. Yeah, sorry. What I was saying about Mystic Subdual is if you cast it on a mutation while it's happening, you stop everything. It takes away all abilities of all parties. It's pretty effective. I like taking fixing early. I think for the first day, maybe less than a day, people weren't taking fixing highly enough and you could go berserk, but now people have realised how important it is, so you have to take it quite high. Lord Drakis it's a strong card. I'm not as high on it as other people are because I think it takes a bit of work to make a Lord Drakis deck good, whereas Essence Symbiote is very good in the archetype I think we're looking to be, and it's a 2-drop, which are a bit of a premium in this format. Pretty much everything I just said about Essence Symbiote is also true of Humble Naturalist. So, whilst typically I've struggled for 2-drops, it looks like we're going to get plenty. Boot Nipper's pretty good, 2-1 with Death Touch. You almost never use the lifelink mode. Death Touch is great. There's lots of big things in this format between... There's a decent amount of 4, 5, and 6 drops anyway, and then it's easy for a mutation to make something big. So having a Death Toucher is valuable. So far, I'd say we're about par, maybe a little bit below par. It's not terrible. We've got 2 more packs to correct it. I'm enjoying the pod drafting. I think it's well organised. It's quite quick. And it's nice that you don't then have to play your games all within your pod. No waiting around. It's kind of a best of all worlds situation, I would say. Yeah, this card and this card is good. The Otter is fine, but I think Essence Symbiote is very good if we can make this mutate mechanic work for us. So now we're all set up. We've got support cards, we've got some ramp, we've got 1 payoff. We just need a few more payoffs, and maybe some removal and fixing. So we kind of have the kind of core basic functionality of the deck sort of sewn up. I quite like Honey Mammoth, especially with a little bit of ramp. It kind of stabilizes you, so in a deck that's looking to go long, it's nice to have a card that you can play on a busy board and just kind of solve all your problems. The little bit of life gain helps. I don't see me playing any of these. I think this is the card I'm most likely to play, but I don't think I'm going to. We're not even necessarily blue, although blue does get some strong mutate cards, but we certainly don't have to be blue. I'm taking a Cloud Piercer here as a speculation in case we move into red, because it's a generically good card that's great in the mutate decks. And it's really easy to splash in this format, although I don't think Cloud Piercer is worth splashing. It's far from that power level, but it's it is worth noting that it's easy to splash in this format. Including splashing out of the wedges, the sort of preset groups of colours that they obviously expect people to draft in. You don't have to at all. You can draft Jund, you don't have to draft Sultai. Don't think I'm playing any of these, so when in doubt, take the rarest card. It's better for your collection. I don't love the combat tricks in this format. Basically, I think in this format you only really want to play creatures and removal spells. That's my feeling. So, Archipelago seems like a fairly strong one for our deck. Definitely counts as being sort of top-end payoff. I'll move that out for now, as it's looking less likely we'll play it, but obviously have to remain open-minded, see what we get past, see what we open. So the rare that we opened then was the Abzan enchantment, and as a rule that whole cycle I'm really not big into. I think they're all quite bad. I like the Heron. I think flyers are really good in this format. I think Heron is one of the best ones, and it's a really good mutator. Like the commons I'm really looking for now. Well, so first of all, there's some absolutely insane uncommons for this deck. There's the, I forget the name of it. I think it's called an Arix or something. The 6/6 for 5. It's incredible. What does this do actually? Let's just check we're not missing out. 5 mana 3/5. Starting deck can only contain odd mana costs and lands, but we don't have to have it as a companion. I don't think that's worth playing. I think it's between this and this. We don't have a single 3-drop, but we've got time to correct that. This card is very good in this deck. Menace is a very good keyword. I think I'm going to take that. Blood Curdle is the best common removal spell, I think. It's certainly close, if it's not the best. Yeah, that was a fairly easy pickup. We don't have any removal currently. So this pack 2 has been quite nice to us so far. It's kind of given us mostly what we were looking for at the end of pack 1. Would love some fixing, but we've got a couple of payoffs now. We've got a removal spell at least. Don't think I'm likely to play this. Mystic Subdual I would count as removal spell, and the Dirge Bat as well, so we're not doing that badly. And to some extent, Archipelago is kind of removal. I think I'm in for this. Another copy of... It's one of the best commons for this deck. Yeah, there's a 3/4 that costs 4 or 3 to mutate, and Rampant Growths when it ETBs or mutates. No, not ETBs. Rampant Growths when it mutates, so I'd really love one of those. I think I'm just taking this here. It's good in our deck. We don't have a single 3-drop. It's a 3/3 for 3, which is fine anyway, and it has it gives one of your other creatures trample, and is a mana sink late in the game. So I think the mentors are quite a varied cycle. I think some are better than others, and I think the green and the red are the two best. There's some fixing, which I would quite like to take Essence Scatter. That's one of the better pieces of interaction in the format, but I don't think we can pass the Thornwood Falls. There's a decent chance we might pick up an Essence Scatter later anyway. I think the cards that I'm most likely to play are the Sandworm and the Boar, and I'm just trying to pick between them. I think we'll take the Sandworm, but again, I'm not confident in that pick. I don't think I'm playing anything from this pack, so I'm going to take the fixing in case we want to splash a red card. Frostlinks is really good for this deck. It's a 3-drop, which we're lacking. It's pseudo removal. It's a non-creature for mutating. There's a lot to like about it. And we're in decent shape after 2 packs. One thing that I find a bit strange about the pod drafting, but divination, is that you don't get paired with players of the same rank, but it affects your ranking. So I've been paired with loads of like bronze, gold, and silver players, and it strikes me as being a little bit yeah, it's like a little bit of an unfair system for the newer players, maybe. This is a fantastic late pickup. So we've got loads of the commons you would want. The Essence Symbiote, the Heron, and the Whisperer are all really good commons. I would say maybe the best commons. Now we're just looking for some of the really powerful uncommons that are payoffs. That's a totally playable card, it's fine, but I'm hoping we can do even better. It's reminiscent of the card from Ixalan. Was it Ixalan? The 4-mana 3/3 that killed a thing if it had damage marks on it? Well, there's a Triome, which I think is just about the perfect card for this deck. So I'm going to take it. It's fully on colour, and it's amazing fixing for our mana base. So between the 3 lands, the Skull Prophet and the Humble Naturalist, we've got amazing fixing. Back for More is really good. It's like a reanimator and a removal spell all at once. I think I'm taking it. So it's 6 mana, get something back, and it fights. So it's really nice with big cyclers like Greater Sandworm or this guy. So this is the Void Beckoner. It's an 8/8 with cycling that gives a Death Touch counter to something. I think it's probably worth taking over the Archipelago. I might have taken that pick the other way had we not just picked up Back for More, but we have, so I think this is the better play. The Mole is exceptional in this deck because we want to fill our graveyard for the Back for More. It's just great. So what have we got? We've got a Mamba which is really good to mutate onto. Ram Through is really good removal. I'm torn between these two because this is also removal. I'd love the Thornwood Falls. It's a shame they're all in the same pack, but I think that's the one I'm least interested in because we've got quite good fixing now. I think I'm going to take the Mamba, but I'm not confident this is correct. This pack is uninspiring. Take that for, you know, if we get desperate. The Sandworm is good, but I think Capture Sphere is more important. And that puts us on 22 playables. There's an Essence Scatter, which would be nice. And that's 23 playables. So I think I'm happy with the deck. It looks pretty fine to me in its current form, even if we don't get a single upgrade. And we've got half a pack left to try and pick up upgrades. I don't think I want to play 2 Mystic Subduals, but they're an absolutely fine card. And you certainly can. I'm going to take the Capture Sphere and take this Mystic Subdual out. It seems like a decent upgrade. Also, 4s are really good in our deck because we have two drop accelerants. I can't remember how you view it, but there's a way for me to show you guys the curve. I think the curve's fine. There it is, yeah. Don't forget that 2 of these big guys have cycling, so we won't be stuck with them in hand necessarily. This could be good in this deck. It's good for fueling back for more. It's a 2-drop. Luckily we don't need to play it because we have a bunch of other better ones, but I think 2-drops are quite hard to come by in this format. So I'm really, really grateful that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good ones. Oh, mate. That's a bonus. That's a real bonus. That's nice. I'm happy now. The deck is not necessarily perfect. I would have loved a... I think it's called a... Yeah, the 5 mana 6/6 with Mutate. Get your next permanent out of your deck. Cast it for free or put it into play if it's a land. That's a good card. So yeah, we're on 40 cards, so I don't have to make any cuts. I like to do that. I like to kind of build my deck as I draft and see how it's going to look. Just going to check the mana base now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black sources, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue sources. I think I'm more interested in having an extra green and 1 less blue. So I'm going to do it like that, because we've got quite a lot of early green cards. And like our double blue is Archipelago, which is a single blue to mutate, and I'd definitely be looking to mutate it rather than cast it. This is a bit of a mopey hand, but it's got all 3 colours of mana. We can cycle the Great Worm. I think I'm going to keep it. We just have to hope we don't... If the opponent curves like an aggressive 2-drop into an aggressive 3-drop, then we're in a bit of trouble. The fact they've mulliganed is comforting. And the fact that we've drawn the Mole is comforting. I'm feeling much better about this now. I think I am going to cycle the Sandworm. Don't mill 3 lands, please. Ah. They got me. This is a cool removal spell. It's a removal spell that comes with a Vendilion click trigger that has to target yourself. Did you note that we just milled 3 lands? It's a bit sad. And you can even click away. You can even click away a land if you wish. So that's pretty great. That's a good draw. The reason that's so good is that gives us more black mana, so we can play the Batra. Never mind. I would love to just draw a swamp, because we can play this and then mutate onto it, and this has flash. I don't know if the mic's picking up on that, but my computer fan has just gotten a bit warm, so hopefully you guys can't hear that too much. Pass for now. I think I can afford to be fairly loose with my removal spells, considering I've got a million of them. And again, the thing I want to draw most in the entire world is just land. This is super good if they have any low toughness creatures. Sure, I'm happy to. I don't mind if they kill my member. So we get to shrink this, which is irrelevant, and draw a card. Which might be a land. It's not a land. And one cool thing about the mutate mechanic is it's a little bit like haste, because this is still the Mamba that's been in play since last turn. Okay, we finally have some land. Great. I think I'm not going to play that into a load of open mana. Like, the nice thing about the mutate mechanic is that it does snowball really well. But yeah, it snowballs really well, so you can get a stack going. But I think it's not worth overcommitting into a bunch of open mana if you don't have to. Capture Sphere this. We've still got two. Well, we've got any number of removal spells really. I'm just gonna play this as a 4/forward menace. Hope it doesn't die. Kind of feels like it's going to die. No? Okay. I'd very much like for them to tap out for something. Pacifism is okay. This is a human, so we can't mutate onto it, but that's fine. Yep, Coil Bug is not particularly threatening. I think I'm just going to pass. If they do anything in the end step, we can maybe mutate. It feels bad putting your big flyer onto a creature that's been pacifismed, but one thing I've learned is that the the mutate abilities stacking is way more valuable sometimes than being able to attack or block. I'm not sure, you know, whether I should play this out or not. I'm just going to untap. I'm going to cast this because it lets me hold up Essence Scatter as well. And then I've got a good body to mutate onto with either of my big payoffs. It's a little bit kind of Mexican standoffy at the moment, where nobody's willing to do anything. Is that what a Mexican standoff is? That's what the back of my mind thinks one is, but I might be totally incorrect. Yep, you can cycle that. That's the cool thing about the amount of cycling cards in this set, is you don't really want a 2-2 on turn 20, or whatever turn we're on, turn 13-ish. Let's see what they've got going on. So I'll start by hitting for 4. This is nice because when they've got these many lands, the Coil Bug can be an infinite chump blocker, but they don't work against Menace. I think that's okay. So I'm having to play things out really slow and clunky because we're kind of a mana short for the way our hand, the way everything costs in our hand. That's card. Now I'm feeling safer to tap out for something. Cast this. It's a pretty good one. I imagine it's hard for them to answer, although there's pacifism in white, and there's some black cards like Blood Curdle, so it's not out of the question. I don't think the 1/1s are going to matter soon. Yep. I'm hoping they're going to attack, yeah. To block with, and we get to kill their 3-1. Yep. So I think we're pulling pretty far ahead now. I'm going to mill myself for this back to more we drew. Back 4 more, I should say. flyer. Getting for 12. I think that should be good enough. So this is what I was trying to articulate about how the mutate mechanic snowballs. Like, it's really, really unreasonable when you get triggers going off like that. And we don't really have the best one in our deck. The best one is the yeah, the green uncommon that I keep talking about. Another really good one is I think it's called a Gnar, Trumpeting Gnar. It's a 3-mana 3/3 that makes beasts. This is a nice hand. So they are only playing creatures, but all their creatures cost 1 less, which is a serious payoff. But I believe those creatures only cost 1 less when they have that in play, right? So, oh no, now their Brushwag has trample. Sadly, I don't think we've got any 3-mana mutators in our deck that we can draw to answer the Brushwag immediately, but I'm not complaining about a hand where we get to play the Mole and then the Blood Curdle, and we've got the Batra, well, sorry, the Dirge Bat for later. I think I'm interested in trading there. Everybody's got a mole. You get a mole, you get a mole. Everybody gets a mole. That was a great draw. We didn't mill anything significant, which is handy as well. I suppose the second swamp would be nice, but I have to decide between a little bit of value and how scary it is that they can cast creatures for cheap next turn. I think I'm going to take my little bit of value while I have the chance. So I'm going to kill their Brushwag for free. Sorry, I'll ignore my friend for now. Actually, that was definitely wrong not to attack because I'm not blocking and it has menace, so that was just awful. So, apologies for that, viewers. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So yeah, sorry, I definitely missed 4 points of damage there. Second swamp is great. It's a waste of a menace counter putting it on my creature that already has menace, but now it's correct not to attack because obviously we want to. Trading 4 for 4 when you're behind is not profitable. That's fine. They can give back vigilance. I guess they'll gain 2 life, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to have a good turn here. We get to knock the last card out their hand, kill 2 things, make a giant flyer. So, destroy this, shrink that, and they discard. I can't remember if this land... The land goes onto the battlefield, so that if they've got action in their hand, they definitely have to discard the action, which is nice. What do we get them to discard? A wolf bear, that's pretty good. Essence Scatter is amazing because it makes me feel very safe. When you're already ahead, having their next play answered is lovely. And we can play the Mentor next turn and give our Symbiote Trample. That's the reason for not doing it all now. Go with that. Should be pretty safe from here. The Capture Sphere is another nice piece of insurance. And to be honest, even if they answer our like Thanos thing now, it doesn't matter because it's already won the game. With those couple turns where we got to just nuke everything. So yeah. Sorry about that little sloppy bit where I missed the 4 damage because I'm an idiot, but apart from that, the game went well. Max Combo is an absurd screen name. I think it's quite funny. On the play, got a Cycler. Sure, I'll risk it. I wouldn't keep this if it didn't have a 2-drop and a Cycler. I don't even think I'd keep it with one or the other. I think you have to have both to keep a hand like this. But we might get there. This is more likely to get into damage because you have a Death Touch counter on it. This fox can get quite large, so I'll say that's a great draw. I'll certainly be offering a trade. Stating the obvious, best draw from here is Island, but any land would be fantastic. Then we can use the Cavern Whisperer. And yeah, there's no need to sort of worry about the high curve in hand, because don't forget we can cycle this. Not as bad as it looks. I'm not blocking that. I don't expect them not to have a cycler, and losing this to literal nothing would be upsetting. Well, that's got to be better than cycling the Sandworm, I think. The Marmoset is a good card. It's sad that we currently can't answer it. If they attack, I'll block Boot Nipper on Fox and let the Marmoset through as things stand. Ooh, I was wondering if they were playing blue, because you sometimes see off-color cyclers in these decks, because it's just not important to have you know, it's not even important to have a castable spell as long as you can cycle it. I assume this is a removal on the Boot Nipper, maybe. Ah, That's not great for me. And the cycle. So this is fine overall. We're going to have a large blocker. And we gain a little life and stuff, so it's all quite reassuring. I don't think I want to attack. We'd be potentially getting cracked back for 4-8 if they have one cycler, more if they don't, if they have more. So I don't think I'm going to attack. If they attack with both, I think I have to block the fox. I don't think it's likely I'm going to have good blocks on the marmoset basically ever, because it's got first strike and it grows. Like I really need to draw a removal for it. I've been dealt like 12 by a marmoset in one turn once, where they had like 2 cyclers plus that one. Raking Claws is very good in that deck. When somebody does something like that, it's hard to tell if they're trying to sell you on something. Like, that kind of felt like they were trying to sell me on the idea of not blocking the fox. So, we'll just make them have something. I'm very glad I blocked. If I hadn't blocked, we'd have taken 1 million damages. Come on. It's very cool. I'll be cycling the Space Godzilla, hoping to hit a land, and then back for more it next turn and kill the marmoset that way. That's got to be the plan. Which means I can't afford to block, so if they have 4 cyclers, then fuck it, we're dead. If they don't, we're in good shape. The most commonly played counterspell in the format by far is Essence Scatter. So cycle plus instant plays around that quite well. I wonder if they're going to kill my Prophet. I'd be upset if they did. Land is good. I think that's fine. I think if they attack, I have to block. because they're signaling having some amount of cycling. And if they've got some amount of cycling, I might be dead. We'll have to see how much mana they have open as well. Is that a fight spell? That was a fight spell. So they can... Is it an instant? It's a sorcery. Okay. I think I like where this is going. There's no enchantments to exile, so yeah, we're doing okay. Wonder if they'll scoop. Maybe they'll scoop to Honey Mammoth. It's pretty good. Wow. Wow. Lethal. Not gonna lie, that was unexpected. The lethal Zenith Flare shouldn't have been particularly unexpected. It is like one of the major payoffs of being in that deck, but I always forget that it can target players. Fantastic hand. Man, this hand is good, especially if we draw another land. A tap land is amazing, because we can just curve out, using all our mana every turn, and getting tons of value. Necropanther is a good one. Currently no creatures in their graveyard for them to get back. Necropanther's a good one in the cycling deck, because obviously you're incentivized to fill your graveyard anyway, although most of the cheap cycling creatures are a little bit weak. Just like 2/2s for 2 and stuff, but even so, still good value with your Panther. Okay. Start shredding their hand. Also get a 6/6 menace and gain 4 life. Pretty nice. Hopefully they tap for another creature. Or, you know, don't have access to a removal on my turn, and then I can put the Heron on this as well, and it'll really go off. Yeah, that's really easy enough. If I'd been sensible, I may have had lethal if I'd done things the other way around. No, I wouldn't. I would have had 11 damage. So, all's as well that ends well. Just hit them for 8. Our hand is really good. 2 removal spells to make sure we get through the last few points, even if they play a flyer. The only way this really unravels is a removal spell on my thing, but that's fine too because we have back for more if we draw a land, so it's kind of all good. Everything's fine. I wonder what their plan is. I feel like if their plan is to remove my thing, they should do it now. And if their plan is to block it, then we win. Do it. Use opponent. Ooh. Vizier of the Scorpion, that's fun. So yeah, hopefully if we get to 7 wins, that would be really nice because that would be good for my ranking as well. I'm enjoying Ikoria so much, I'm trying to get Mythic, so I don't normally bother with the rankings on Arena, but given that we're all stuck at home and I love this set, I figured I'd give it a crack. Okay, the bat is a good thing to reanimate if we draw our back to more. Sadly, this doesn't even have tap to make a 1/1, so capture sphering it is a little bit weak. But it's fine, we're going to be hitting them pretty hard. That's fine. Good one. Yep. Let's see if this double block work. Seems fine for us, I think. Lose our flyer, but we end up pretty far ahead on board. Although they have a lot of cards in hand. They could be lands like ours. Obviously, we are a bit low on gas, but we've got some absurd stuff to draw to. Okay, so they're going to mutate. Well, it's bad, but it's not that bad. Because the Sea Dasher Octopus is terrifying, so I'm quite glad that's gone. There goes our back for more, though, that's a problem. So our graveyard's now got like 2 of our 3 really good cards in. Obviously we're not attacking because we're going to try to make a double block. But yeah, I don't hate them wasting their Sea Dasher Octopus. I think that's fine for me. The Otter is really good. But we'll be able to block it. Good one. Anything with mutate is fantastic, even if it's just like, what's that black thing called? The one that makes the discard. Even something like that would be really strong here. Additional lands are less strong, but it's fine. I'm not big into sandbagging lands. You're not fooling anyone. This is a problem. They've remembered about their cat. I think they completely forgot about it for a while because it's not at the top of the stack, but if they're making 1/1s every turn, we're going to be dead pretty soon. This is becoming unhelpful now. Normally you would expect to draw slightly better than this. You must have lands to discard, yeah. Yeah, this board stall heavily favours the opponent. We need to get quite lucky quite fast. That does not qualify as us being lucky. Why wouldn't you hit with both? There we go. Get it out. Okay, what does this do for us right now? Probably not enough, but... I'm actually wondering if it was correct for me to give up on the removal spell and put this on the mole to just have a big trampler. It would have given me a lot more scope for racing. These tokens are so cute. Look at them. That Skycat Sovereign. I might have to find an excuse to play them just because I love these tokens. That's problematic. Shouldn't really be a shock when they've got the full grip. Yeah, that'll do me. That's a shame. I really did want to do well this draft. I've been stagnating in Platinum Tier 1 for like 4 drafts in a row. I kind of want to get my way into Diamond. This is a bad hand. It's actually an amazing hand if we draw 1 land, but I don't think there's any point risking it. This is pretty terrible. The reason for bottoming that, even though it's a really good card, is just that I wanted to give us outs to draw lands of either colour. If we draw black, we have access to this. If we draw green, we have access to this. Obviously, we could continue to draw neither. Okay, that's lucky. Not sure this is the correct play. It'll look great if we draw a swamp, but if we don't, then I might look like an idiot. I just didn't want them to be ottering freely. What a tease. So we're taking 4. They're drawing a card. None of that appeals to me very much, but we've got 3 good removal spells. I suspect I'm just going to blood curdle it. I hope they don't have a removal spell. Not a removal spell, a counter spell. We'll see. Okay, we got what we wanted. The reason for not attacking with the Naturalist is this kind of feels like a flash creature. And we can't afford to lose our mana. That must be what I sensed as them having something. Okay, that's not a problem. That's a good draw as well. Just play this for now. Taking 2 is fine. It's a good one. Feels like they have some kind of instant speed interaction to hold up. So I'm going to pass. I'm going to go for a Capture Sphere on their turn as bait, and then start trying to play my stuff on my next turn. You have to Capture Sphere at this stage of the turn, because obviously once you've let them attack, the fact that it taps doesn't matter. You don't have to. You can wait if you want to try and... You know, if you're happy to take 2 and try and draw out a better target or something, that's absolutely valid, but... That's kind of what I wanted to get out of this turn. We'll have a 4/5 flyer, which is very good against a 3/4 flyer. if we're fortunate enough to draw land, we can play the Mole and the Whisperer, which will be nice. Pacifism is annoying, but basically fine. We've got a high enough life total not to be too worried. They've got an Essence Scatter and they don't know whether to cast it on the Mole, I think. They decided not to. Very disrespectful. The Mole is glorious. 3 mana 3/3 with significant upside. Sure, I should probably attack at this point. Yeah, the Mole is great. It's really good in any deck where you're interested in having creatures in your graveyard. I guess that's going to be primarily constructed, but there's 2 good reanimators in this format. Essence Scattered, but at least it will finally be gone. Or I've just misread it completely. Yeah, it felt like an Essence Scatter for about 4 turns in a row. Really the only thing holding us back now is a lack of mana. I would love to draw a land. Having that in play. I don't mind milling those. Let's try. Fine. You can answer the Otter at some stage, although the Otter does draw cards, which is sad. We've still got our terrifying murdery bat in our deck. The Otter having Menace won't be such a problem because we'll have 2 creatures in play starting next turn. Quite strong. Feels bad doing it on my thing that's got a pacifism. Don't have Essence Scatter, please. That would break my heart. They can't have Essence Scatter. They would have cast it by now if they had it. I think. I would definitely snap it off. Okay. There's a little bit of reach in black in this set. There's a mutator that like drains X, where X is the amount of times it's mutated. And I think if I'm dead to that, then I'm dead to that, and that's whatever. Okay. This is fine. Have a 7/7 fire that kills stuff. Conveniently, we have a 7-power flyer that's lethal for next turn. And a way of giving it menace if they make one flying blocker. So I think we're probably ahead, but it's really hard to say. We're in terrible shape if they have a removal or obviously any reach. But, and by reach I don't mean the keyword, I mean like a way to deal me 1 life. And end the game. Feels to me like they don't have anything and they're racking their brain to see if they can get out of the predicament, but we'll have to see. Hooray! That might have looked like I was BMing them at the end, but I was just trying to play around as much as I could. Don't mean to be a rude opponent. Apologies if any of you people I've played against, it's looked like I've been accidentally rude. I may have been deliberately rude if you're, you know, like a close friend of mine. Nothing better than BMing your actual friends. Sure. Slightly slow, but it's got all the mana and a 2-drop. Sorry, not slow, lacking in action. But like I say, can't really complain when you've got all your colours, a 2-drop. We've got a cycler. Obviously, if we happen to cycle into more nothing, then I'm going to be a bit annoyed. But other than that, everything's Gucci. I would like to draw a mole, or that's good too. Looks like opponent knows the secrets and likes the mutate mechanic as well, although that's a good one. I don't really want to lose my symbiote. It's my only thing I currently have to mutate onto. Bit of red. Not sure that's correct. Mamba is a nice one. Just need to draw a second black for my Dark Destroyer. Well, that is definitely going off. Unfortunately, we don't have black to use Godzilla void thing to punk them out. But we'll get them this turn. That's for sure. Okay. Give me a land. Not that one. Oh, we got a fight. That's fine. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna hope they play a creature pre-combat, and I can punk them right out. You know, like use the trigger from the Mamba. Okay. So we can kill it 2 ways. Nice. What are they looking in their graveyard for? Maybe they've got the 2-mana return a human and a non-human card. They do have one of each. Maybe that would be strong here. Sure. Doesn't really matter, does it? Now they've got lots of lands. Ooh, Trumpeting Gunnar. That is a good one. I can't figure out exactly how good or bad this Ozolith thing is, but I think it might be just a complete trap. Alright. That was about the best card I could think of in the format for that exact moment. Unfortunately, it's nothing like good enough, but like they don't know that. I assume they trade with the boot nipper. Okay. There's a mole. There we go. Perfect mill. Didn't need 3 basic lands. That was... Who's a good mole? You're a good mole. I don't know why they're playing on. Maybe they have an insane hand and they can get out of it, but seems unlikely. Yup. That is one of the better cards against them. As things stand, it wouldn't save them anyway, but... Unless one of these counters is lifelink. Nope, they're all just +1s, okay. Don't know how I lose this, but I assume not blocking is where it starts. Obviously it feels bad to chump when we don't need to, but like it also feels bad to lose because you've forgotten about a double strike spell or something. Okay, let's see if we can get the last 2 wins. That would be satisfactory. Oh, I doubt it is, but I have a friend called Pietro. I doubt it's him though. I guess I'll keep this on the draw. That's a good draw. Hoping to just hit running land, to be honest. Got the nipper going on. The nipper's good. The nipper's really good. The 2-drop that always trades up. Oh, they've got the kill target thing that costs 2 or less, have they? Maybe not. That thing needs to die. For Grim Dancer, I always opt for Menace and Death Touch, because then the opponent has to lose 2 things to trade with it. Not attacking. Opponent hasn't got any good attacks either. That just seems silly. Maybe they just thought, screw it, I'm going to have to deal with this Death Toucher at some point. Flying. Makes sense. think I'm more likely to cycle the Super Godzilla than to cast it, but I'm not sure. Next turn, especially if they tap out, we can have a really good turn next turn. Putting this on the other thing, we get to make them discard a card, tap 2 things. So I'm definitely discarding this. Thinking it's technically probably better to cycle it first. That way we get a counter out of it. I think the 1/1 is definitely incorrect. I think I can make a case for both flyers. Am I right in saying they're dead? I think they're dead. We'll have 10 power exactly. Take out their blocker. And we even gain a couple life for good measure. Hooray! Sorry, Pietro. I'll have to find out what the screen name is of my friend Pietro. Yeah, this limited format is awesome. I really love it. Sand is a bit weak to an opponent just curving out, but it's fine. I think my intention is, especially if they don't play anything on 2. Wow, that's amazingly shit. Yeah. We're doing a bit bad insofar as we're running out of gas, but I'm gonna leave up Capture Sphere. Don't think I want to offer the trade. I think I'd rather kill that thing with a trigger when I eventually draw one of my mutators. Good one. So with any luck they'll play something really good and I get to kill everything. Screw it. They're clearly playing around counter spells, so I'll do my best to tell them it's safe and hope they don't have anything too busted. Hopefully they play some big vanilla body, like a whatever the 8/8 with trample that costs 7 is, and cycling. I think they'll play one of those. Oh, it doesn't even have trample, does it? That's fine. Yeah, discard that. Please play a small thing. It didn't. play a small thing. That's annoying. Just pass. We've got so much really good instant speed stuff, and we're ahead on board. Okay. Bit annoying, but basically fine. I wonder if they have any way to stop this. I don't know what their hand could be. Maybe they have a third colour and they've not drawn lands. You must have a third colour, yeah. See if they died. Okay. That's fine. Knock the last card out of their hand and kill their boar. Oh, I felt tempted to give him a your go then, but it's not polite. There we go. Hooray! So I think that got me to diamond in the end. And completed the draft. Hooray. So, yeah. My recommendation is that you try to use the mutate mechanic, because it's been very kind to me since Ikoria came out. And, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time for some more Magic videos.